Abo, Kuno, Abo, Bano. Mama wanna get it, Mama wanna get it nice. I know food I miss, I know food I tebe, I know Kaya Mari. Come back, don't you come, but don't you come, Fadzayi. Ano Gaya Mari.
Kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com. Kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanoziya mari. Kamba kwe vanotara feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanhu muterere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. Kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotara straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence
entertainment current affairs and news. Kamba kwe don't come usasarire. Kamba kwe ano Gaya Mari.
Right. 5 July 2022. And today we've got a very strange discussion. Dr. Fadzayi Mahere, how are you?
Good evening, Gambakwe, and good evening to the viewers as well.
Yeah, as I said, today we've got a very strange discussion. We briefly touched on this a few months ago, that there is a hard drive containing compromising or pictures or videos of prominent CCC members, which were recorded at a lodge in Harare. And this was first revealed by Kudzayi in a tweet, that there's such material out there. And a lot of CCC leaders are on that hard drive. But what we have today is something actually solid, something very, very solid. CCC spokeswoman, Fadzayi Mahere, is embroiled in a war of words with Edmund Kudzayi and Professor Jonathan Moyo, which has taken us to where we are today. So I think, let me give a background of this whole story and then where we are today. So there was a fight between CCC members, including Professor Jonathan Moyo. And somehow Fadzayi Mahere got entangled in this fight. And then obviously there was a fight with Edmund Kudzayi on behalf of Professor Jonathan Moyo, who is being fought by members of the CCC for airing his opinions. And eventually there was a threat by Edmund Kudzayi that he's going to release secret details about an affair that Fadzayi Mahere is having with a Harare businessman. And we now know that the man is Tinashe Mrakata, a businessman who was having an affair, according to the newspaper Kokurigo. And if you saw the statement by Fadzayi Mahere's lawyers tonight, this website belongs to Edmund Kudzayi. So he has followed through on his threat to release at least the name. But there's more. Obviously, he's got more details, and he's got more pictures, and he's got probably video of these two. And he has been given 24 hours by Fadzayi Mahere's lawyers to retract or else face a lawsuit. But he's adamant that he's got all these details. I want us to obviously respect Fadzayi Mahere's privacy. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with what She did. It's none of my business. But I want us to look at it politically. Is Fadzayi Mahere politically damaged from getting a married man?
Well, thank you very much, Gambakwe, for this opportunity to probably speak my my view on this issue. Firstly, let me just say this is an issue which is not even worth discussing. I mean, whose substance or lack of it actually is not worth discussing, but you will indulge me, Gambakwe, a little. The only thing I can say about this issue is that this discussion puts the limelight on the historical struggles of women in Zimbabwe. I say the substance of it is not worth discussing, not least because it is if you read the story, it does not have any substance, because it's just mere hot air with no corroborating people. But I don't even want to get to that. Let me delve into what I say. It puts the limelight on the historical struggles of women in Zimbabwe. So let me take you a little bit into history, because what is happening now, and as we slide towards the election, should be understood in that political context that you have highlighted, that we discussed today. Women in Zimbabwe have always suffered, firstly, within the racial system of discrimination in Rhodesia. We saw women would always bear the brand. First, as Black women, they were under the cosh, and secondly, that system was patriarchal by its nature, and so they suffered in a double manner, that they were racially discriminated and suffered under that patriarchal system, colonial system. Not only that, secondly, women suffered within that system, not only under the racial system, which was patriarchal, but under the traditional system, which of course have its cultural connotations, which have always discriminated against the woman. So it was a patriarchal system in which men were put in front, rather an androcentric system which glorified men, and women always suffered. Not only that, thirdly, women have always suffered under the political system which never recognized them as mature human beings. Remember, in our colonial laws, they were even viewed as minors. You will refer to your inheritance laws, to this and that. Women in this system were always under men. Fast forward to the post-colonial system in Zimbabwe, particularly within the politics that we are discussing today. Women have always suffered under the violent nature of Zimbabwean politics. And that is clear. Gambakwe, like I said, you will indulge me on that, because I want to put this Mahere issue, which apparently has gripped those who think that there is some gossip and with the news, but there is nothing there. So they've suffered under violent politics which physically harmed them, violent politics which discriminated them from participating politically, and this has been a norm. But not only that, in post-colonial Zimbabwe, they have suffered under the economic conditions. You will know that women and obviously children are regarded as the weakest of the weak in society, in that under these whole systems I have highlighted to you, they are the ones who have the responsibility of looking after the family, of looking after the children. And when there is poverty in an economy such as ours, when there are economic troubles such as we have, shortage of food in the home, it is the woman basically that suffers under such a system. And this is a system that is presided and superintended over by ZANU-PF, the government that has been in power for the past 42 or so years. They suffer more, and you know, even those women that have tried to rise above, you know, or we have broken the glass ceiling, they have not had it easy. Now, coming back to our situation in Zimbabwe, which links to Fadzayi. Fadzayi is definitely and no doubt one of the most brilliant minds, legal minds that we have, who I think should be celebrated. And ever since, even before she took over as the spokesperson of the then MDC Alliance and now Triple C, she has shown that she has done this by merit, that she has intelligence par excellence in responding to the issues, or in understanding the issues that grip Zimbabwe today. And it is not surprising that today she is being put in what I can say under the Varakashi myopic microscope, if it was a microscope anyway. This obviously is a season to decimate such strong women like Fadzayi, who obviously has shown that even men who view themselves as real men in politics have miles and miles of political you know, distances to reach where she is. Right. We have seen this happening to many other women. Look at what has happened to Cecilia Chimbiri, to Joanna Mamombe, to Fadzayi Mahere, who, when they were abducted and raped, they were smeared as if they were the ones that had done wrong. But we knew very well that it is the system that had clearly failed these women who are strong, very strong. So this smear campaign we are seeing, it is obviously meant to discourage strong women such as Fadzayi from participating. What it does actually is to question their moral probity. What it does is to bequeath on them social opprobrium, basically to reduce their dignity and that they should lose respect. This is how women are treated. We know very well even women of the liberation struggle, such as Vanamai Mjuru, such as other women, Vanamai Mchena, they have not had it easy. They have suffered similar things, in which even when they rose to power, it was thought that they rose because they had other men, or they had men who supported them. So today's issue that we are discussing about Fadzayi, I think it's nothing is hot air, except that it gives the limelight to how our women who are in politics are always treated, are always put down. And it is said, as we are going to see in this conversation, that the people who are threatening to you know, to publish things that they in their own their own imaginations, which are very infertile, they know very well it is untrue. These people who have links to Jonathan Moyo, Edmund Kudzayi, are themselves people with no moral probity, are people who we know have so much under their carpets, and in fact they should be reminded that, in particularly Edmund, that whatever he is doing it borders not only on criminality, and according to the Data Protection Act of 2021, it is a criminal offense. So why is he trying to to think that announcing or threatening to publish whatever pictures or whatever he has on Fadzayi, what he is doing, does he think he is doing good? He is committing a criminal offense, and it will be interesting to see how he will be treated by the by the hand of the law in Zimbabwe. So for now, I think let me end there and say what we are seeing, Gambakwe, is merely another attack on strong women in our politics.
Okay, Doc, I think what you have said covers a lot, and I just want us to keep this short. This is a developing story, and as I said, we're going to see more in the coming days. I've got no doubt about it. If my imagination is correct, Edmund is not just talking, he's got something that if we see it, it will make a very big difference to the political career of Fadzayi Mahere. I think Mahere has been in the spotlight with the Petina Gapa case. We covered it here. She was attacked by Esi Lumumba using the same accusations. And these were supported by Hope Wetingon. I'm going to produce this tweet very soon. Let's say a few days from now, because I want to obviously say there is more. Remember, we talked that Mahere was threatening to quit CCC. We talked about this less than a month ago. Myself and yourself were sure about that. So my belief is that besides what you have said about men, their internal political dynamics within the CCC, especially with regards to the vice presidency of that party, which people within CCC, they benefit more from smearing Mahere than people in ZANU-PF. So I wouldn't put this on ZANU-PF. I would put this on people within the CCC who don't want Mahere to be the vice president of the party. That is my belief, and I'm going to obviously support this in one of my commentaries in a few days' time. I agree with you that Mahere is a brilliant politician, and she is a good representative of women. But my question is not answered. Do you think she's politically damaged because of the accusations of dating a married man?
In fact, I think Fadzayi's political career is just about to take off. She's just about to fly, because what is it that she would be if she doesn't face such kind of tests? This is a test of a character, of course, on the media side. It's unfortunate that our critical media as well fails to realize that such agendas which are set by strong men seated elsewhere, hold up somewhere outside the country, planning simply because they have been politically defeated. They think then they can attack the morality of such strong women as Fadzayi Mahere. I don't care whether it is people as you are trying to with your innuendo that the dynamics in the CCC or whatsoever. I don't care which man it is, whether it is a yellow man or it is a green man. All I'm saying is that women like her have got a right to participate in politics without their participation being sexualized by masculine men, by chauvinistic men. Anyway, let me just go a little bit to this so-called Edmund. We all know very well that he has been a mole who has used the nom de plume Amai Jukwa, which was known, but also he was accused of being Baba Jukwa, and we know what Baba Jukwa was all about. Baba Jukwa simply was there to serenade people with lies, and what he said were expositions of what was happening in the ZANU-PF system. And we all know that what he was trying to do was to hypnotize the electorate to forget about the bread and butter issues of the day and focus on stupid stories. Here is a man now who is coming up and threatening whatever he's threatening. In fact, if he had something, why threaten? Why not bring it out there so that people see? But what I'm saying is that, look, he is a proxy. He is a proxy of Jonathan Moyo, and we know that the owner of the puppy is so hurt because when he started attacking the Triple C, they gave him equal criticism, and now he's resorting to dirty play. But obviously, without even responding, I'm sure Fadzayi Mahere, as an advocate that she is, she would know where this whole issue will play out. If there are issues that have to do with defamation of her character, the courts are there. And also these people who are doing this, people like Edmund, should know that these issues then will have to end in court if he was to deliberately tarnish someone's political career. But to directly answer your question about whether her political career is damaged, I think no. I think she is now on the rise. In fact, these are the things that should strengthen her. These are the things that should show Zimbabweans out there that there are strong women that are prepared to face the men that cannot stand women who are strong in politics. And it should actually be an encouragement to other young girls who always look at politics in Zimbabwe as toxic, as violent, as something that should not even venture into, because it is fraught with landmines such as these ones, where women, against their own wishes, they are violated. In fact, it should be, Edmund and others should be reminded that not only Fadzayi's privacy, but every Zimbabwean's privacy is something that is protected by our laws and should be respected as such, except if he goes ahead and tries to just fulfill his chauvinistic political ambitions, which are obviously those of those sending him, and particularly the Jonathan Moyos of this world. But Fadzayi should be encouraged to keep on keeping on.
Okay, I want now to go a little bit deeper, and I want us to go to Chamisa. Chamisa took a picture with Mahere and Tinashe Mrapata at the funeral of Magaisa. Apparently, Chamisa knows about this relationship. What do you say about Chamisa's behavior with regards to this issue and this affair?
I think, Gambakwe, Advocate Nelson Chamisa has shown all and sundry that his eyes are focused on the ball, and the ball right now is to enunciate policies that will extricate Zimbabwe from the political morass that it is in. Advocate Nelson Chamisa has been on an objective goal to galvanize and mobilize Zimbabweans on the real issues that affect us, the issues of the freedoms of association, the freedoms to participate in a fair and free and fair electoral system. He has been on the road run to enunciate policies that will take us out of this economic malaise which ZANU-PF has put us in. He has been enunciating the policies on how to actually deal with this hyperinflation that we have, how to deal with the corrupt system that has caused our currency to collapse. He has been trying to sound a horn to the public administrators today about the toxic policies, monetary policies, fiscal policies, and has tried to show them direction as to where this country should go. and to try to reduce him, surely to talk about peril issues to do with love affairs is surely to denigrate his stature, which has shown that he is a statesman. And Gambakwe, even if me and you can know about people's relationships, what has that to do with us? Do we even care about what happens in your bedroom or what happens in mine? These are private spaces which in a democratic society should be protected, and I know Advocate Nelson Chamisa is very much aware of that. That is why he will not even be, I think, at all be side-shod with such very childish and obviously a concocted little issues which boys and girls in high school should really be concentrating on.
Okay, Doctor, I think, of course, I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree totally. A few months ago, myself and Mr. Tanashi Jonas, I've displayed this video. I'm not going to play it. This was approximately a year ago. We had a discussion over Fadzayi Mahere's relationship with a guy called Ozias Vute. I don't know if you remember this, and many people can go and watch it. And in that particular case, Ozias Vute is married and his wife lives in the United States. We had the discussion over Petina Gapa, who is in court right now with Mahere, over her boyfriend or husband or whatever. I don't know the relationship. And now we have Tinashe Mrapata. That's 3 married men. Do you think there's smoke without a fire?
Once again, Gambakwe, this goes to what I highlighted when we started this conversation, that our women have always suffered from these kind of stereotypes. And the one stereotype coming out even out of this discussion is that if women such as Fadzayi Mahere, who are intelligent, women like Fadzayi Mahere, who God has blessed with so much beauty, you know, when they get into politics and they are strong and they assail over men, people start to question them, not on the basis of what they stand for, not on the basis on the policies that they defend, not on the basis of their ideological underpinnings. They start to question them about, rather they start to body shame them. Firstly, I remember that the same Fadzayi we are talking about has been body shamed various times by a media that is very insensitive to the aspirations of women. This same Fadzayi has always been asked about her marital status rather than on what she stands for. And so whether that smoke is there or it is smokes and mirrors by those who are casting it, it's neither here nor there, Gambako. I've already talked about the fact that the privacy of people should be protected, and especially a love affair, as long as one has not brought it into the open, is their private affair, is protected by the law, and it should be treated as such. And to try to mix politics, and particularly I am very, very disturbed and irritated by the very people who try to cast aspersions on Fadzayi Mahere, who themselves do not have moral foundations, who do not have the moral standing to be lecturing her or any other woman for that matter on their relationships. Why are they not questioning her on her political beliefs, on her on her political pronouncements that she always does excellently on her press statements. Now, because they are defeated on that front, they are defeated in that corner, what they are trying to do is to do the same old gobbledygook of pull her down. They have PhDs in pulling her down. Look, Edmund Kudzayi, I would say is a very failed journalist. Even if you read his story in the Kukurigo, it falls short, far short of journalistic standards. He doesn't. I don't even know what Jonathan Moyo had seen in appointing him the editor at Sunday Mail, which shows actually that's where the smoke is. What is their relationship, these two people? Look at what he wrote there. If you look at his writing, it's like an amateur journalist would not even write that. You know, you give the right of response to people that you accuse. You must also disclose your source in such a story and not hide under this facade of saying, no, we are not going to release our sources on whatever grounds. And this is done so that they can peddle this gossip, they can fuel this gossip, make it look like it is truth, yet these are blue lies, pathological lies. And we know these are pathological liars, the Jonathan Moyos of this world, the Edmund Kudzayis. We have seen them as the Mai Jukwas, as the Baba Jukwas, that they have never given to Zimbabweans newsworthy stories which built them. All they have done is to bring up these conspiracies, while it is their right to express themselves, because in a democratic society, they have the right to express themselves. But for them to continue to pursue women, strong women who are trying to encourage a democratic participation in our country, it's a shame. It's shameful. And I think it is high time they should be shut, and shut for good.
Okay, Doc, obviously we need to bring this to an end. Let's go to Mahere itself. Let's say, and I want to start by saying, I don't agree with you that Edmund is not a good journalist. And I don't agree with you that Professor Jonathan Moyo is not very smart. These two guys are extremely smart. And my belief is that Chamisa and his team, they underestimate people. For example, they underestimate people that can seriously damage them. They underestimate their friends who can seriously assist them. I know it because I helped Chamisa a lot in 2018. I made over 200 videos supporting Chamisa. And I'm one of the people who, when I went to one of their rallies, because I criticized policy, I was blocked from getting into one of their meetings. And it's been seriously counterproductive for Chamisa. I know this, because certain people, you don't fight them. You just don't do it. It's counterproductive. And I think Professor Jonathan Moyo and Edmund Kudzayi, those are not people that you want to fight. They don't talk with words. They can produce V11s, what you call V11s. And I disagree that Chamisa is strategic in how he's handling key people, especially key people in the media and key people who can really use information against him. Now, I want to go to the point.
Before you go there, okay, firstly, I never said, whatever you call smartness, I never said Professor Jonathan Moyo is not smart. But it's a shame. It's a shame that we have celebrated knowledge without wisdom. Recently, we were burying a very brilliant mind, humble man in Dr. Alex Magaisa, and many speakers at his funeral actually highlighted the fact that here is a man who had such sharp mind, intelligent, and there was one speaker who even said the kind of knowledge, the kind of brilliance, the kind of sharpness that he had, if it found its hands in people, in evil people, it really would kill society. And this is exactly what the so-called professors you are talking about are showing right now. We should not celebrate that kind of knowledge. Secondly, to accuse Advocate Nelson Chamisa and say he can't handle this one and that one, I have a problem, because these very people who on one hand tries, or when it suits them, tries to support Advocate Nelson Chamisa, but when it doesn't suit them, they flip-flop. You can tell what these kind of people want. And it is only the wisdom of the same Advocate Chamisa that he is careful to look at the ball and to read through them. What are their end goals? What are their end games? What is it that they are aiming for? Is what they are aiming for a better life for all Zimbabweans, or they are aiming for their own positions if they were to find way? And once they are spoken against, they immediately go against Advocate Nelson. But remember, the struggle is not Advocate Nelson Chamisa. He is just a face of a real struggle of Zimbabweans who are suffering today. And if these Jonathan Moyos and others are really people with, people at heart, then their war should not be at Advocate Chamisa and his troops. It should be against the real enemy, that is poverty, which is sponsored by ZANU-PF. That is corruption sponsored by ZANU-PF. But now, when they turn their guns towards those that are trying to fight the same morass, who are they, these people? What are they? What is
okay,
it?
Doc, let me answer you. Let me answer you, Doc.
Yes.
Let me answer you, Doc.
Yeah.
I don't want us to brush over this. This is the key of this whole issue. Edmund knew this information before. He had all these pictures and knowledge before. He only released it in reaction to the poor handling of Professor Jonathan Moyo. I've said it here many, many times. Chamisa's people, especially the people coming from this flank, they've got the same problem. They tend to dismiss people. They tend to hurt people's feelings. Some people don't take it lightly. And this is where we need to go. Chamisa's media people especially. They, to me, I'm very close to a lot of people in CCC and in their circles. They tend to create secret enemies. Then some of the secret enemies become public enemies. But Chamisa right now is surrounded by many, many enemies that were created by people around him. And when they hit back, like what is happening now, Chamisa might end up losing the presidency, which he is so close to getting, because of these poor choices and poor judgments and poor actions of the people around him. You don't do what the CCC is doing, Professor Jonathan Moyo, and get away with it.
Before you go, this is something happening in the Twitter streets. The Twitter streets are congested, full of people, Varakashi, this and that. And Jonathan Moyo goes to the same Twitter streets. He broadcasts whatever criticism against Triple C, whatever criticism against whosoever, and he gets a response. Why does the burden have to be on Advocate Nelson Chamisa, Fadzayi Mahere to respond in defense of him? If he starts a war, why can't he finish it himself with those people he has? So he should not then blame those who are watching on the terraces to say, you are not protecting me. Why did you go there in the first place? That is a public space. And you meet various people. And how do we know that those are real CCC people who are attacking him back? What if they are not? Why does he think that Advocate Nelson Chamisa should defend him alone? What special position does he have?
Okay, let me explain to you, Doc. And I said, let's not brush over this. When I was supporting Nelson Chamisa here in South Africa, I went to great lengths, using my own resources, hours. I was on the verge of being killed, losing my life, supporting Chamisa. My channel with 100,000 subscribers was closed on multiple occasions. I was attacked in ways that you cannot believe. And when I started to criticize policy, I'm giving you my own example. When I started to criticize policy, I was thrown out like someone with leprosy from a meeting where I was covering as a journalist. This has happened to numerous people. Jonathan Moyo supported Chamisa in the 2018 elections. He personally funded or provided funding for Chamisa. People from G40, they begged Chamisa during the 2018 elections, undercover and over the ground. The problem that we have is these new people who were opposing Chamisa during this time that I'm talking about. Mahere was against Chamisa. Chingono was against Chamisa, supporting Idi. Now that things are normalized and they've moved in, Chamisa just abandons everybody who are supporting him and takes these new people and then turns around and calls the other people who were supporting him before Ivo, Varakashi, being handled. This is what I'm saying, that his handling of his stakeholders is very, very poor. And he's being hit back very, very hard. And this is just the beginning. People are going to hit hard at Chamisa. Don't think this is insignificant. When Mahere goes now to address a meeting, half of the people's ears will be listening, the other mouth will be laughing. She's not going to be as effective as before.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ, Gambakwe. But firstly, let me just respond to the people like, I mean, you are glorifying. I'm only responding to the character you are presenting to me, say, for instance, of Professor Jonathan Moyo. Here is a man, you are saying he supported Nelson Chamisa and he wants to criticize policy. He is a man who has been in government. And I think we have had a whole program on him. And at one point, I've told you that this is a man that you don't have to look in one light, to look at in one light. Here is he's basically your proverbial chameleon, that when he is a politician, he has his flip-flopping colors that he can show depending on what is good for him at that time. But we have also realized that he's a human being like all of us. Here is a man who ran away from his friends at the height of their political upheavals in their party, and he is hiding from them. And obviously, there is no doubt he is trying to find his way back. And for him to think that he will find his way back by once again using his flip-flopping shenanigans, it is not helpful. And I should say, he is also a man who's, I mean, where many Zimbabweans have had sympathy at some times, hoping that he has repented. But he's a man that doesn't repent at all. And who is Advocate Nelson Chamisa to put, to take hook, line, and sinker this man and say he will support me till the end. If he gave his support in 2018 on goodwill, that door is still open, because I've not heard any day that Advocate Nelson Chamisa has insulted him. But it is him, because of his sharp tongue, because of his double tongue, that continue to invite enemies to himself. Now, Gambakwe, this is a total sideshow that these people create. This is a sideshow which seeks to divert people from the real issues as we go towards the election. And like I said, I've been quite impressed in the past few months with the direction which the CCC has been taken, with the president of CCC. Clearly, recently they laid down their economic policies, and they are doing everything step by step. Fadzayi Mahere has been a very good spokesperson, assisted by Ostalos, and I think they are on their way. These dirty politics are known in politics. I mean, in fact, these are dirty players in politics who always want to bring out irrelevant issues at a critical juncture, in which people have to focus and galvanize and rally together to fight a common enemy. But now what are they doing? They are putting us on a sideshow. And I can assure you that at no point will Fadzayi Mahere's integrity be damaged by these childish rants, threats, which border on little issues. But anyway, who doesn't have a relationship out there? Who doesn't love this or that? Where does our constitution refuse people to get in relationships? And why are we talking about Mahere anyway and not talking about the other men? It is exactly what I was telling you, that in anything that has to do with a relationship, a sexual relationship, in the end, why does a woman have to suffer? Why is the woman being put in the forefront? Why? It is exactly masculine, the patriarchal, the androcentric nature of our politics, the politics that glorify men and always tries to trash women, especially women that have broken the glass ceiling like Fadzayi Mahere. But all we can tell you today is that go girl, you are doing a real good job. And once you see people, the vultures gathering around you, know that you are doing the right thing. Anyone, everywhere out there, Jesus Christ one day said,
Doc, I get that point.
As I finish this, Jesus Christ once brought a woman where all the patriarchal, chauvinistic men were saying, let's stone this woman because she was caught doing this and that. Then Jesus brought the woman in front of them, sat down and said, who amongst you, he who amongst you has never done what you're accusing you of doing, throw the first stone. He went down. By the time he lifted his head, no one was there. Who are
okay, Doc? I get you. I agree with you, Doc. From look, I'm not crucifying Mahere or anything like that. All I'm saying to you is, politically, there is need for change within CCC and how they handle people, especially the people close to Chamisa. These guys are living in glass houses. That's why they get this treatment. I want to give you an example. You see the picture on the screen. That's me talking. And I want to bring Senator Pugen's attention to this. When Joanna Momebo was arrested, she was driving a car which belonged to a member of the Central Intelligence Organization with whom she was having an affair. Did you know that?
No, don't make me confirm anything. Go ahead with your story. It's your burden.
No, okay. Don't confirm. Let me play it for you so that you can hear. Just give me a second. Okay, I can't hear myself.
No, put your volume there. Yes, yes.
Who were abducted a few weeks back. We covered this story a lot. However, today there's a new story in the Sunday Mail which claims that Joanna Mamombe, who is married to Mfundo Mlilo, was having an extramarital affair with a Harare man who is also a member of the Zimbabwe Intelligence or Central Intelligence Organization. So this man is called Andrew Manongore, and he's apparently someone who is very well known in ZANU-PF. This information came up after the Herald followed up on the ownership of the Mercedes-Benz that was found parked near the Harare Central Police Station. And as you remember, on Friday.
Right. So I'm just, the reason why I put this here. Firstly, I want to show you that Chamisa has got poor judgment. The people surrounding Chamisa, they are not saints. If Professor Jonathan Moyo is being accused of working for ZANU-PF, or Gambakwe is being accused of working for ZANU-PF, they're outcasts. But people right next to Chamisa, they are dating members of ZANU-PF. Fadzayi has been accused of dating Ozias, who is a senior member of ZANU-PF. The latest man, I don't know if he's in ZANU-PF. So if you look at Joanna Mamombe's case, which has just shown you, also ZANU-PF Central Intelligence Organization.
Let me help you there. Let me help you there.
The polarization
anyway,
that...
Yes, by the way, in that, hey, I don't know what happened to you, Gambakwe. You looked so well. You looked so good in that video. What happened, you know, in that previous video? Huh?
But anyway, different guy.
But anyway, it is exactly the polarization that has come to our politics. No one... Listen, Gambakwe, it is said that we are even having to discuss issues of whether you are supposed to marry a black person or a white person. And if you are found to be with a white girlfriend, they will say, you are a puppet of the West. Or if I was to propose to Ndebele woman, and then someone would, a tribalist then will come and say, why are you doing that? Actually, that argument doesn't hold water at all. The Zimbabwe we want is where we can cross-pollinate, not only in ideas, but even in making children. Let's have hybrid children of CCC and ZANU-PF and build a country. I don't even want us to be parochial in the way we view relationships. That is why I said relationships by their very nature are private affairs. It's unfortunate that we live in a very toxic country in which these relationships are either used for, I wouldn't say espionage, but most probably for surveillance, or to be used as revenge pornography when some things happen. You know, that kind of talk is what is toxic, is what is polarizing. The fact that you, Gambakwe, today can say people around Chamisa are not saints. Look who they are dating. Who determines who dates who? What is wrong? Don't you know that there are CIOs there who want change today? Don't you know that there are soldiers, there are policemen, there are ZANU-PF people who want change today? So they should not date beautiful women in CCC simply because they are ZANU-PF. What a shameful society if we have such a society. The time we start talking about that, it exposes the type of our politics, the type of a broken down politics. By the way, it is the current system anyway that has morally destroyed that kind of thread. They always put binary, those kind of binary, you know, connections, divisions. So people are either divided ethnically, people are either divided politically, people are either divided by race, you know, those kind of things. Look, me, you, Gambakwe, are my friend. I don't care who loves you, who hates you, but because I talk to you every day, if I was to look at your beliefs, me and you will not talk, friendly talks we always have. Can we have a society like that? No. That's why I say this Fadzayi Mahere issue brings to limelight everything that is wrong about the Zimbabwean system. Look, almost every young girl in the CCC who has dared to challenge the system has been linked with the other side of the politics and has been smeared as if what they have done is wrong. They deserve love. They deserve relationships. All that they can, because I believe that as they go into politics, they are told that this is a minefield, especially in Zimbabwe, and they should play it well, but they deserve love. Once they've found love, Rudoibofu Gambakwe, love does not see political colors. It doesn't. So that discussion doesn't arise at all, and we should not even entertain it here. What we should entertain is the morality, the probity of our politics. That what kind of a future do we want? Do we want future politics that is not polarized along those lines? So that is, for me, that is what I believe. And big up to these women, strong women, who under such a barrage of attacks, of smear campaign, of victimization, of physical and emotional violence, continue to stand for what they believe in politically. And they should be saluted. These are the heroes of our time. These are the heroines of our time who we should celebrate.
Okay, Doc, it's been a great discussion. It's a developing story. And I will certainly want to hear what Tinashe Mrapata's wife would say. I would want to hear what Ozias Pute's wife would say. I would want to hear what Bettina Gapa would say. These are women. We're not talking about men. Then I would certainly want to hear what the CCC as a party thinks about this issue. We have heard Fadzayi. She's put out a statement through her lawyers this evening. And finally, I would want Fadzayi Mahere to step down from that position. If I was her, I would step down from this position and probably be appointed into something else. Being a spokesperson for this party is going to be a tall order for Mahere. Especially if pictures appear, if a video appears. This is going to be extremely difficult for the party. If I was these guys, I would do something quickly. Also, I would improve how I handle people. Personally, I am very, very unhappy with the CCC guys. Myself, I'm speaking here, I'm not even hiding in a corner. I feel that the way the CCC guys have treated me, they deserve everything that I give them. And when I do give them, I give them 100%.
Don't be bitter, Gamba.
Like
Gamba,
when I make 200 videos for Chamisa. No, do you understand, Doc? When I make 200 videos for Chamisa, when you put me on the other side and I make 200 videos against Chamisa, that is a poor decision.
I'll try to talk to them. If I can have audience, I'll try to talk to them and say, Gambako is a good guy. He can speak well again. Don't be bitter, man. Don't be. You are a Christian.
No, I'm not bitter. I'm just telling you that if I'm just saying to you, if you take the machine gun, your best machine gun, and you hand it to your enemy, they are going to spray you with those bullets. This is what is happening here. Chamisa's guys don't know how to handle their friends. They turn friends into enemies. And when those friends turn against you, Jonathan Moyo, when you have Jonathan Moyo on your team, and you've got Edmund Kudzayi on your team, and you've got Kasukuwere on your team, and you've got Grace Mugabe on your team, these are people that can make a difference. It's like having Ronaldo, Messi, and all those people on your team. You take those people and you hand them over to the opposing team. This is what these guys are doing because of their reckless approach. Young Ostalos, he will tell you, sorry, I was saying young Ostalos, even Fadzayi herself, she understands how many times we have made approaches to her when things were still okay. How many times you approach them, try to build a relationship? These guys don't know how to build a relationship. That's why they're getting this treatment. It's not even about Fadzayi's relationship. It's about the way they treat people. Look at what Chingon is doing, alienating everybody around Chamisa, behaving as if he's the owner of democracy in Zimbabwe. This is the kind of thing that makes people go after Chamisa. I'm saying this to you so that you understand that this is not the end. No, this is just the beginning.
I think there now you are taking a wrong turn. I think you are taking a wrong turn. Look, I've told you that this is not a Nelson Chamisa struggle. It's not his struggle. It is a Zimbabwean struggle. And Chamisa happens to have been privileged today to be the leader of that struggle. Before we had President Morgan Tsvangirai, may his soul rest in peace, he had his time. But we all know that in big organizations such as this, he can do so much, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. But one thing he has done, one thing he has said, is he has preached love. He has shown that he wants all Zimbabweans to come together. It is only those who come with ulterior motives, with expectations of tokens, of trinkets, of positions maybe, that then get disappointed when they think that they have not been treated well. But in a struggle, then people should be bound by a common vision. And a common vision here is to bring democratic change in Zimbabwe. It's not about what Nelson Chamisa says to you. If the liberation, do you think the liberation struggle of Zimbabwe was won by people who were so united every day? No. ZAPU and ZANU existed separately, even as they tried to have the patriotic front. We know that they were not always in agreement, but they stuck together for the common good, to chase away the common enemy, which was the Rhodesian system. So if these people, these modern day liberation, democratic liberation fighters cannot understand that and stop from fighting a cause to fighting the players, then they've lost it. They don't deserve to be part of that struggle. When the history books are being written, they don't deserve to be mentioned at all. They were fly-by-night gladiators who then disappeared into thin air. So they don't deserve to be there. I will respect those who were there. The same Advocate Chamisa, during Tsvangirai's time, faced ups and downs, but consistency. He is in leadership and he deserves it because he has been consistent. These people who live, and we celebrate them as if they are the ones who are going to win this war, time will tell, maybe. Time will tell. So I believe that if you decide to get into a struggle, for instance, Hopewell Chingono, I think we should applaud what he is doing right now. It's not like he is alienating anybody. He is using his strength. He is using his energy. He is there on social media every day, consistent. It's his energy, it's his talent. So don't be envious. People should not be envious of him. If you have your own area, fight the war, engage in this struggle in your own area and show your expertise. That's what. So then we build it brick by brick, brick by brick. Once people think that others are better than others, then it becomes jealous. Then the struggle doesn't go on, and it becomes smear campaign like we are seeing with Fadzayi Mahere. Point to me in the other party which man does not have concubines, which man does not have children in the forest. Show me one. At least one thing I like about this discussion, the only takeaway is that at least the CCC is being held to a higher bar of morality. That in the end, of course, they should in the end assure that there are moral people worth of leading a new Zimbabwe that has got the moral probity that we want in the new Zimbabwe. That is the only takeaway that I can have when we have such a discussion. But anything else, I don't accept.
Okay, so Doc, it's been interesting, it's been exciting. If I was Mahere, obviously, as I said, I would step down and leave this position of CCC spokesperson. She's not, to me, suitable or fit for the job anymore. She's got too much now weighing her down. And obviously, it's not up to me. The CCC can do whatever they like. But if I was Chamisa, I would sit down and think hard about which people to cross and which people not to cross. That is a very good lesson that he's learning. If he keeps crossing the wrong people, he's going to have so many enemies to fight who are not ZANU-PF. And it will be counterproductive. That is all I think about this. Is there anything else you want to say, Doc, before we close?
Obviously, I'll have my last words to say. In fact, if there was any other reason for Zimbabweans to go register to vote, this is one of them. Go register to vote in numbers so that our girls can participate in politics without fear of being victimized, without fear of a critical media, without fear of being questioned who they are in love with or who they are not in love with, because they deserve it in a free and democratic Zimbabwe. All young girls out there, all young people, this is even the reason why you should vote. Tomorrow it will not be little girls, it will be even young men. So this is exactly the reason why I will advise and ask most of the young people to go and vote, so that in a free Zimbabwe we can be able to express ourselves with all that freedom within the constitutional confines. And thank you very much, Gambakwe, for always having me.
Well, thanks very much, Doc. And I hope that we have to come back to this issue. Probably by Saturday, Senator Kalipati Pogen will have new developments here. I know you guys love Mahere. She's not my type. I don't find it interesting or exciting. Like when if it was me and Mahere on Earth, or just go to the North Pole, to go to the South Pole. So if you were like the only two people on Earth, I'll go to the North Pole if you go to the South Pole. Then we'll leave. and I hope she's getting what she deserves, because she crossed the wrong people. And I hope Ostalos is next. I hope Ostalos gets what's coming to you. You know, like
Gambakwe, what are you up to? Can you behave? Can you behave yourself?
Yeah. Good night, Doc.
Good night to you too, Gambakwe.
Kuno aho pano mama wanna get it nice. I know food I meso, I know food I tebe, I know kaya mari. Kama kwetu tikomu.
Kambakwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa pane nyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com. Kambakwe vanogaya mari, vanotaura mari, vanoziya mari. Kambakwe vanotaura feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanoteerere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu, zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. kambakwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotara straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence plus intelligence
Entertainment, current affairs and news. Kambakwe don't come. Usasarire, kambakwe anukaya mari. Mari. Kambakwe. Kambakwe.